Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the Growth Process. So today we're going to talk about where can I get support for my pain. And I've talked about this for the last week or so about where can you get it from. I encourage you support groups, help groups, people that have been or experienced this. And when you go out and reach for the support, ladies and gentlemen, and this benefits the kids too. And I told you I was going to talk a little bit about the youth. And today I'm kind of going to talk about a little significantly because there was an incident that took place in Palm Beach County today. It was like a domestic, how would I say it, altercation, something like it. Three people's lives were taken. And I believe I shared the video on my main page as well as the True Salt 1000. So what does that tie in with the youth? So in this situation, there's lives that have been taken, and it was a tragic ending to it, unfortunately. And whoever the family and loved ones of these parties, they are going to have a humongous grief that's going to pour out. They may have younger siblings, parents, brothers or sisters, and how would this affect them, knowing that their loved ones are no longer here? And what I'm trying to get at today, before I get started talking about what I was talking about yesterday, people have triggering points. And when triggering points just kind of spiral out of control, they have a tendency to really lose focus on who they are. And most of you like, remarkable, what does grief have to do with this? I'm going to get into it before I get to talking about the youth again. Before I want to get this off my chest. When people are in situations that are very dangerous and very heartfelt, and I'm not talking about heartfelt in a good way, they're in situations that are very triggering. And when these events and situations happen, people tend to lose their cool. So in murder cases and suicide cases and murder suicide cases, the trauma is so significant for individuals who are connected to them, and it gives them a sobbing, grieving, heartfelt pain in the pit of their soul. It's so deep and so painful. And this is where I recommend getting support and being connected to people who have had similar backgrounds with that. You are able to help each other and to better understand how to heal in a process and in a fashion that you are ready to heal and process these things. It's not going to happen overnight, ladies and gentlemen. And why I'm talking about this is because every day somebody is going through the grief process and has already started this process. The process of shock, the process of denial, the process of sadness, the process of healing, the process of anger, the process of frustration. All these different elements are taking concrete evidence to a whole new level. And when you see this happening on a day-to-day basis, it really gives you a real different insight from like, okay, I really gotta figure out what I need to do for myself in order for me to feel so much better. And there are triggering points, ladies and gentlemen, that certain things that you shouldn't say to people, and also too, words can hurt and penetrate something to make a person snap. And in these incidents that's going on in our society, ladies and gentlemen, we are in a place where can I get the support for my pain? Where can I get the help? Am I too far gone to get the help? Am I too far out there by myself to get the help that I need? Because if I keep continuing that same path, this is the outcome of the situation. And a lot of people are put in very difficult situations and very heartfelt situations because they don't have the resource or they don't have the strength or the willpower to move forward to get out of it. They have did everything they possibly can to protect themselves. Whatever the necessary things called to action takes place. But in some scenarios, after you did all you can, you have fought each and single battle that you could possibly fight, it ends unfortunately in catastrophe that ends the lives of so many people. This is what the grief process start over again for a family, for a loved one, for a child. And this is where this ties into what we're talking about today. Young kids, teenagers, and how they cope with this, and where did they go from pain. And with children and teenagers, they have different outlets and different ways and different point of views to handle certain situations. In some cases, they may not know what to say or how to present themselves. Yesterday, we talked about how do little kids share their emotions and how teenagers express their views through conversation and kind of just sporadically bring it up in conversation unexpectedly when you don't expect it. And these talks and these conversations, and I stress this very clearly, everybody, listening is so important because you can see something going on with them, but they're not ready or willing to open up. Putting them in a safe place, in a safe haven environment where they can share and open up something can really make them feel so much comfortable, make them feel so much better. Themselves. Okay. So, like promised, everybody, I did find an app that you can use. Let's see, for grief. I found a couple of them, matter of fact, that I wanted to share with you all. So the first one that I found was, and let me look it up again. One I had screenshot. It was called "A Part of Me." It's on the Android device for kids. I screenshot it, and I'm gonna go ahead and look it up again. Everybody, it's called "A Part for Me," and that is on Android. And then they have a Good Grief Journal for kids, which is on Apple. So check that out. I don't know if it's going to work on your tablet or your iPod, but check those two devices out. I have Heart for Me for kids on Android, and I have a Good Grief Journal on Apple. Those are the two apps that I was able to locate today. And I looked at the other ones, and unfortunately, they didn't really pop up when I was clicking on them. So those are two apps I recommend for kids. Apart from Me, which is on Android, and My Good Grief for Apple. Okay. So let me go ahead and stop sharing my screen and let you watch the video.
Florence hasn't been bad.
Cheers.
She?
Yeah.
Well, who was that?
Sweet.
Not long ago?
Yeah, about 20 minutes ago.
No, just man, mom. Well, I was asleep in the room.
What happened?
Huh?
Huh?
Was I asleep?
Yeah, you was on the side of the bed.
Oh, leaning on the bed.
Yep.
I got to talk to a street most of the morning.
Oh,
No.
that's up there.
Yeah. See me once a week.
But same time of day. Morning, afternoon.
I lost my dad. I lost my dad. I lost my mother. I lost my dad.
I lost my dad, my aunt.
My grandfather, and my uncle.
My name is Thomas Copeland, and I lost my mother 2 years ago. And it was a virus that attacked your heart, and you couldn't diagnose it until after she died. And it was really unexpected. I just woke up Wednesday to go to school, and then I found her in her bed, and she was just gone.
This is my sister.
She was 13 years old, and she killed herself. This was her, I believe, fifth attempt. You know, I thought, oh, it's attempt, another attempt, but it was a lot more serious than any of us had ever
A
experienced.
little
It
bit.
wasn't instant. It was over a week. She was in the hospital and her heart stopped about 6 or 7 different times. They brought her back every time, but she was in an almost vegetable state. She was fighting it. She would occasionally open her eyes and she would respond to things. And after the last time it happened, they did a scan of her brain and she was brain dead. So we pulled the plug.
At first, it was unreal because it was unexpected. I didn't want to believe it. I kept waking up the next day thinking it was all a dream.
I lost my dad 3 months and 5 days ago. I lost him to brain cancer
Registered.
after a 20-month battle. He was literally the foundation of our family, and
Freshman.
losing him is like losing myself.
She was my lifeline, the person that I always depended on and was more closer to than father.
I lost my dad, Thomas King, to colon cancer. It was right after Thanksgiving. He told me about how he wanted to teach me how to drive and stuff. And I told my mom that I just felt really bad that he can't do that now.
It is the hardest thing when it comes to somebody who is like pretty much your everything. She died of breast cancer. I didn't expect her to die, but she did. Losing her was just like, I couldn't even describe to you how that really felt for me.
My mom was the leader of the household. She was one that paid the bills. She took care of scouts and school and baseball. The hardest thing isn't the memories I have with her. It's memories I won't be able to have with her in the future.
Grief is just sadness, and it's kind of like you have this hole in your chest or like this missing part of you.
It's like you feel everything and then nothing at all at the same time.
Grief to me is taking something that you love away from you, and you can really never get it back.
Well, my definition of grief would be all the emotions that come at you when you lose someone or something valuable to you.
It's just a big mix of all sorts of emotions, anger, sadness.
I'm just like, okay, so what is going on here? Like, I don't know what emotion I'm actually feeling because I know I'm upset. And you can feel like the tears trying to come out, but then they don't come out.
It's way worse than sadness.
You really don't understand it until it happens to you. And I hope it doesn't happen to anyone, especially my age.
You talking about that on?
To be okay.
My grief was basically like
Yeah.
not talking about it at all. I didn't want to experience grief. I didn't want to experience anything. Like, I just wanted to leave it as, okay, my dad passed. I understand it. I'm
Like you said,
trying
2 or
to
3 weeks.
not move on from it, but move on from it.
I just wasn't the same. My grades were going down. I just didn't talk to my friends. I didn't talk to my friends at all.
I have cut a lot of people out of my life. I've slept a lot. Just basically kept to myself.
The worst part about this entire thing was that I was extremely lonely.
I just kind of keep things to myself. I don't really put all my business out there. I just put on a smiling face and go about my day. So.
When someone's losing someone, just because they're not crying on the outside, you don't see them so emotional and depressed and everything like that. It doesn't mean that they're not upset about it. It just means that everybody has their different ways of showing that person.
Even when you're happy, you have fun, you kind of feel like, oh, I wish they were here to see it, or I wish that he could have been there to see me do that, or he could have helped me do that, or could have helped me learn how to drive and stuff like that.
Christmas is what triggers me. Birthday triggers me. And Thanksgiving.
So there'll be times when he comes up here, the holidays are tough. But at least you know you don't have to be alone. And that there are people that you can talk to. Nobody knows exactly.
Oh Lord, I don't even know where that
But we
kid is.
sort of all get it. It's tough being a teenager. It's hard anyway. And then you have a traumatic loss in your life. And kids, it's okay if kids cry.
Where's your
You're
kid?
told, oh, you're a teenager, you're not allowed to cry, or you need to grow up, you need to do this. So that's why we all do this, to bring this all together, so that you understand that there is a place for people that understand a little bit. We would have been there. And, just to be yourself, to let it go if you're having a tough time.
Everyone who has lost or is feeling grief in any kind of way should come to, because it like helps you deal with that. It teaches you how to go through a process where you're basically healing yourself. I love how we are pretty much getting through it together. It's one big family, really.
Yeah.
It's easier to acknowledge my feelings now, because before I didn't really know what I was feeling. And I think it's easier when there's people around you, because it's harder to pull yourself out of it when it's just you.
I think it's easier to talk about like your problems with people who like actually do understand. Like it's easier than talking to like a friend, because they're like, oh, I understand, like it'll be better, and like they don't know.
I think talking to people is
My counselor, my good counselor, helped me.
if you have the right friends near you, they can come for you.
Let it out, because hold it in, you can go through a lot worse.
My friends helped me a lot. My teachers, mostly my basketball coach, because before my dad passed, coach about how he's sick, he's not going to be here very long, and my coach said he's going to look out for me. It's really mean a lot.
Even if you don't want to express how you feel about the loved one or how you're going through your grief, I mean, at least talk about it some, so you can get some of the feelings out.
Don't ever hold in feelings. That's how depression starts. That's how people lose their minds.
Be with your friends and don't make everything super serious all the time.
When I talk to my mother, I don't talk negative. I always talk about positive, all the fun stuff I've done with her.
If somebody just mentions something about their dad, I think it's a good memory.
When I feel sad, I think of all the happy memories. I remember when my mother passed, I had a weird fascination with drawing and art, and that weird fascination blossomed into actually picking up a pencil and trying it out.
But it's a mixture of things, happy and sad, but the way I feel sometimes, my writing really helps.
Singing is one. Other things that help me cope with grief.
Music helps me understand, like feel better.
It always takes a tragedy to bring people together, and that just makes me super upset, because we should be cherishing each other every single day.
You never really know how long you have with the person, so that doesn't mean treat them like they're golden, but you should appreciate the moments that you do have with them, the bad moments, the good moments.
You can't define my grief. You can't rush the grief process. When I'm ready to come and tell you how I feel, that's not what I'm doing.
It's just how they don't understand what I've gone through and how to react to it.
If I want to have the relationship again and I want to have another confidant, I need to surround myself with people who love me and care about me.
The best thing I would say is to not say I'm sorry, say, acknowledge that, they know that you lost someone and that it feels bad. Give me a hug.
It's a sign of kindness. They're showing you kindness. So I appreciate it when people check on me, maybe shoot me a text anytime, say, hey man, how you doing? You okay?
Me every day feels the same.
You take emotion every day, right?
It's true, it's empty and sad that I've lost people in my life, but sometimes you just gotta take what life gives you and get up and go on with it.
So I've come to realize, I'm still lucky. I still go to a good school. I still play my sport. Still have food on the table every night, and I'm grateful for every day.
Even though you are hurting or you're feeling all sorts of things, you have to keep on going for the people around you, for all the things, because there's still things that I can do with my life, and there's still things I can become, because I know that I am able to do something great with my life.
What's the name of those kids? What's the name of these?
sure something out of it. Actually, guys, they work on characters, huh? What kind of actors? Oh, well. Oh, you got another kid? How many kids you got?
Not 3.
About 4. I switch up, huh? Freestyle pretty accurate, huh? I usually on CBS, it's kind of so-so, huh? It works. Give me a guide, let me know. Huh?